Welcome to MultiGen Law. My name is Joshua G. Crampton, the founder. No, we are not lawyers. We don't need to be. And for many purposes, us not being bound by law gives us way more freedom. We are advocates for victims of injustice. What we do is we search and hunt for predatory corporations that have traded their ethics for profits, corporations who target Americans to get rich by violating your freedoms, by violating truths, and by violating laws and statutes. I'm very proud and saddened at the same time that we've had to launch this website. Now, American Credit Acceptance is one of the most evil, cutthroat, and brash corporations that has existed in this side of our generation. American Credit Acceptance has a rich heritage of theft, lies, deceit, and evil profits. The father of the man who founded American Credit Acceptance created his wealth by first establishing a slew of predatory payday loan companies across the United States. And through that, the original creator of the family's wealth established their heritage as con artists. Now, the son of that man concocted the plan to launch American Credit Acceptance. Now, the business model that they've created is brilliant, and I'm going to walk you through their business plan. Basically, that family, the family who founded American Credit Acceptance about 12 years ago, their heritage is in creating wealth through illegal loans, through unserviceable loans, and then debt collecting in order to get their profits. What American Credit Acceptance has done is created a conspiracy, what we call civil conspiracy. And I'll walk you through that briefly. What they have effectively done is partnered with the United States government in order to chase down and do their debt collecting. Follow me. A car loan company is going to traditionally have a small percentage of their loans that default. The success of an auto loan or any loan corporation would be determined on how many of their loans are actually successful, right? Now, this family that created American Credit Acceptance for 75 years has made their wealth by illegal loans, by success by loans that are defaulted. In other words, American Credit Acceptance doesn't measure its success by how many loans are paid off in full. It measures its success by how many loans are defaulted. 85 to 80%, if not more, of all the loans that American Credit Acceptance gives out are defaulted. They plan, by the way they write their loans and the way they educate car dealerships on how to sell their deals, for you to default in the loan, for their victim to default. They actually don't really make that much money on these deals until you default. Here's why. They have insurance. And every single time that a loan is defaulted, they're going to get paid from that loan in multiple ways. Now, what they have effectively done is partnered with the United States government and what you call garnished wages. Now, a garnished wage is when you get a judgment, you sue somebody, and you get a judgment against them. And then because of that legal judgment, you then turn that in to the United States government, and the United States government will garnish the wages by literally taking money forcefully out of the paychecks, the W-2s of the person who the judgment was gotten against. It's called garnished wages. So American Credit Acceptance has devised this business model to where you will default on the loan, and instead of them having to debt collect on you, they turn the loan, the judgment, over to the United States government, and then the government garnishes wages. Now, here's an interesting fact. 90% of the yearly revenue of American Credit Acceptance is from garnished wages. What does that mean about the targets? Every company has a target market. Every company has a market that they want to reach. The target market for American Credit Acceptance are the hardest working Americans that exist. They're teachers, firemen, veterans, military people, first responders, people who are living off of Social Security. These are the victims and the targets of American Credit Acceptance. The reason why is because they have garnishable wages. Our first responders, our police officers, our veterans, and our military personnel all have wages that can be garnished. So for an example, an entrepreneur is not the target client of American Credit Acceptance because they're often not going to have wages that are garnishable. You have to have wages that are garnishable for American Credit Acceptance to be successful. If you've been involved with American Credit Acceptance, the first thing that I want to say to you is that I am sorry. I am sorry that you're having this experience. I'm sorry that there are humans on this earth that are so evil that they would concoct a plan like American Credit Acceptance. Where American Credit Acceptance has broken laws in the past is by violating usury laws. One of our clients has a 38% interest rate. He is in Tennessee. The usury laws limit the interest rates there to about 12 to 13%. The loan itself is invalid. The loan itself is illegal. The loan itself doesn't even abide by the state laws of Tennessee. And they do this all the time. American Credit Acceptance is involved in what we call a civil conspiracy. Let me explain that to you. When one individual concocts a plan to violate laws, and he invites other individuals or groups into the equation to fulfill the plans, it's called conspiracy. Now, American Credit Acceptance has partnered with tow truck companies, and then they've partnered with car dealerships to do their bidding. So what happens is the car dealerships promote the product, which is an unserviceable loan. And then the tow truck companies do the dirty work and go pick up the cars once the loans are unserviceable. Now, it's called civil conspiracy. It's very hard to pin this. It is criminal and it's also civil. It's very hard to pin this on a corporation. But I remind you of Enron. I remind you that even one of the men in Enron committed suicide in prison. And that is the future that we want for Jason Bynum and the rest of the leaders of American Credit Acceptance. We want them dead or in jail, one or the other. And our intention is to get American Credit Acceptance shut down. And whether that means that the founders and the managers are either dead or in jail, we don't care. We will not stop, and we are your advocate. So I encourage you, if you've been involved with American Credit Acceptance, contact us. Fill out our form that we'll email you. We'll give you a free consultation. We'll do a video testimonial to get your testimony out to the public so that the public knows what is going on. And then we will help you file your own lawsuits against American Credit Acceptance and fight for your case. Now, we are not lawyers, and we are not bound by the law that the lawyers are bound by. We don't give legal advice. We show you what other people have done to defend themselves. We have many, many clients across the United States, and we've had some success with clients. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you some of our secrets that we have seen other clients do to successfully win in their situation. The very first thing that you're going to do is call your bank and dispute every single charge that you've paid to American Credit Acceptance. It's very important that when you're filing this dispute, you file it in the category that the product and the service that you paid for was not what you expected and not what you received. Listen to me. When you call your bank, let's say that you bank with Wells Fargo, you're going to call Wells Fargo. And oftentimes you can do it right from the app. With Wells Fargo and Chase Bank and Frost Bank, you can actually log into the app and do the disputes without ever having to call. Okay? Or you can go online and do the dispute. Now, if you do this correctly, it's a 90% chance you will get what they call provisional temporary credit. And if you can get this provisional temporary credit, then you can go buy another car in cash. One of our clients got over $30,000. He was paying more than $1,200 a month for his truck. He had bought it just 2 years prior, and he had put a $2,500 deposit. He had made almost 24 payments, and he disputed every transaction, including the deposit he made at the dealership, and his bank gave him all the money back. He got, I believe it was $24,000. And then he took that $24,000 and he got it immediately. He called us, he did his consult, he did his video testimonial, he signed our contract to be involved in our class action that we're building against American Credit Acceptance. And from there, we instructed him on how to call his bank and file these disputes. And when he filed these disputes, the next day, he got immediate temporary credit of, I believe it was close to $30,000. That day, he went down to another car dealership and purchased another truck in cash and got the title. And then he went down to the courthouse and he filed his lawsuits against American Credit Acceptance, thus beginning his legal journey against American Credit Acceptance. Now what happened to him is they put him into a loan that was illegal, it was unserviceable, and eventually, of course, he defaulted, because it's only logical after a year to a year and a half of paying these loans, you realize that you're not paying any of the principal, and all of the money that you're paying is simply going to American Credit Acceptance, and your loan is actually going up. Many of our clients have had their loans for a year and a half, 2 years, and they actually owe more today than they originally borrowed. These are how their loans work. For example, you'll buy a $20,000 car and they'll put you into this loan. You'll put $2,000 down. A year and a half later, you'll call American Credit Acceptance to find out how much you owe, because you configure that you might only owe $10,000 or $12,000 since you've been paying on this loan for almost a year and a half. And then you'll discover when you talk to American Credit Acceptance that you actually owe more than $20,000. And then you look at this and you're like, I borrowed a $20,000 loan. I paid $2,000 down. I've made a year or a year and a half of payments. How in the world can I owe more than $20,000? That's how American Credit Acceptance loans work. None of the money that you're paying will ever go to interest. They bank on you defaulting. They make the majority of their profits from defaulting from the government garnishing your wages. They've partnered with car dealerships, CarMax being the main one. They've partnered with tow truck companies and the government to provide these illegal loans. 98% of the loans that are given are illegal. And if you simply file your lawsuits at county court and sue them, you will win, or they will settle with you. Now, there's many parameters around how to maneuver through your situation with American Credit Acceptance, and we're here to help you do that. We're here to give you guiding principles, not legal advice, but guiding principles on what the law says and what other victims have done to protect themselves to protect their credit and get their money back and hold this company accountable, okay? Now, my name is Joshua Crampton, and if you're involved with American Credit Acceptance, I want you to reach out to us right now. Get involved in our class action. Sign the class action document to enroll in our class action. File your own independent lawsuits. File disputes with your bank to get your temporary and provisional credit back so that you can go buy other vehicles and replace the one that was fraudulently given to you by American Credit Acceptance. Thank you for watching. I encourage you, there is a way out of this. And one of these days, we will see American Credit Acceptance shut down. Thank you.